It's a depressing day for a few fans out there. Cloud9 fans alike around the world now know the confirmations brought to us by Decay First are likely true. That's going to be a likely replacement of at least some of those Cloud9 players, as GenG is set to enter the CSGO scene and maybe take Automatic, maybe take Daps, maybe take both of them or more. Cloud9's future, as per usual over the past 18 months, we're not very sure what that roster will entail. Further information, I guess you could say further confirmation of this, they've now officially backed out after rumors of doing so of DreamHack Atlanta. I guess you could say somewhat good news. Ben's anime team will be the replacing team for them. Probably an equal shot that Cloud9 had against these teams as well. But yes, a further confirmation that Cloud9 changes. And even with Mixwell's response, kind of gives the vibe right now. Obviously a pretty funny joke, but at the same time, a harsh realization of Cloud9 changes probably being very imminent. The real question is now, who will all leave that Cloud9 roster and how soon will that be? And when GenG does join the scene, who's going to round out their roster? Obviously looking at some potential crazy players like possibly Ships, looking at Daps, Automatic. It sounds like a pretty solid roster, especially compared to the current Cloud9 roster. How many Cloud9 members they will take, we will find out sometime soon. Best of luck to Ben's anime team, who'll be replacing them at that tournament. Now, alongside that, other tournaments going on this past weekend, which for both DreamHack Atlanta, alongside IEM Beijing, where the Ence struggles, well, they do continue. I think I was not the only one out there that was in question. This change they did make, replacing Alexi B with Sunny. I mean, Sunny is a phenomenal player, still has been, and I don't think he is the issue when it comes to this roster. We knew the issues of, obviously, when the rumors started that Ence would be making these changes, many people out there took to the comment section to determine who it actually would be. Ariel was certainly one of those targets. Alexi B was the one that didn't really make sense to a lot of people out there, and now it's finally coming to fruition. Alexi B should be on his way to OG, which looks like a pretty stellar roster in itself. This Ence roster is still, you know, a very good roster, and especially when you look at what they achieved with Alexi and they got Sunny, you would have thought a similar result would have been possible. IEM so far, they've now been knocked out after a close victory over Vici Gaming and back-to-back series losses and sweeps against 100 Thieves. Obviously the former Renegades roster, but still a team you would think formerly Ence maybe had the edge in. They got swept twice in a row by that team and sent home by them yet again early for another event out there. You know, things like Sunny's interview really kind of just goes to show where this team might be at right now. They were facing immense pressure ever since this move was made. Sunny felt it, the team felt it, and ever since then they've trying to been, I think Alu's been tweeting about this as well, you know, trying to obviously prove to everyone these results will come eventually, and they have yet to come, and it's just leaving a lot of people begging the question, will this roster actually be able to bounce back and succeed? But aside from that, they're not the only team out there that's been struggling ever since their first buyout. Evil Geniuses bought the XNRG boys. They win their first event ever since. A couple back-to-back very poor results. They go out before playoffs yet again here. As FaZe Clan, all you fans out there, they've seemingly woke up again with this newer roster. At least it seems. Following their victory last weekend at Blast Pro Copenhagen, they are now yet again in back-to-back events making the playoffs, which we have not seen from FaZe very frequently. Back-to-back events doing so far very well. We're going to see Astralis doing Astralis things. A lot of red tier teams out there. We'll see though, Vitality, FaZe Clan, alongside them, if 100 Thieves can actually give Astralis a run for their money. It should be an easy title for the taking, and I will break it down, of course, for all of you guys come Monday, what those results do end up being. Evil Geniuses out early again. Ence still struggling to actually have any performance out there. Sunny is, in my opinion, not the issue here. Who is? I'm not really sure at this point in time what this roster is undergoing in terms of pressure and feedback. We've already heard about 14-year-old Finnish boys giving them hate, and that was when the actual move was made, and now they're not producing results. I imagine that hate does continue towards this roster, who is under just some immense pressure as we've seen so far. We will see who actually comes away though as the victor of IEM Beijing, and also the winner of this qualifies automatically for IEM Katowice 2020, a 500K event. So a lot on the line for these teams competing this past weekend, or this weekend. Keep on messing it up, and so we'll see who can come out on top. And also in the news, less than a week ago, IEM tried to implement a brand new rule change out there due to tactical suicides. An enemy team committing suicide or taking their own life for their own economic benefit, or to deprive their enemy team of the economic benefit of killing them or taking their weapons, much like that of jumping off the map on Vertigo, other such suicides as well. Some events out there where you could actually use the kill command to commit suicide and deprive your enemy of that extra income. They tried to revert that and stop that. Ever since that though, less than a few days later, they have now taken back that first rule change. That first rule change tried to put a stop to allowing you to intentionally suicide. They have now also halted that new rule change, so you can now freely suicide. I probably worded that very terribly, but you can now commit suicide in CSGO whenever you do, please, if you have the means of doing so. Please, guys, you can do it, but do so only for the benefit of your team. Thank you. And very lastly in CSGO news, guys, ironically enough, it's going to be Valens. Yes, he joins Evil Geniuses as their legitimate Evil Genius. I cannot wait for more. Hopefully, Decay will give us more on this. He's already been posting the past job history of this guy, who we've known to be very smart, and not just the analyst role for whatever team he is a part of. Obviously, kind of tied to a few of these players out there. He now rejoins this lineup, guys, over at Evil Geniuses, and I'm very curious to see a deep dive by Decay out there as to what his role might be and benefit he actually brings to the roster. I mean, the guy has worked for just a ton of companies out there. He's obviously a legitimate Evil Genius and hopefully does have some sort of benefit alongside the data analyst role. We will see more details on that hopefully in the future as to what he can actually add to that Evil Genius roster. Until next time, guys, and especially until Monday, I have a few pre-recorded videos for you guys out this weekend that are also CSGO related but also esports related. Until Monday, though, I'll be breaking down other results for all you CSGO fans out there. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for the great week. Enjoy your weekends. Drink some coffee. Hang out with your family. And I'll be back here sometime soon. Until then, goodbye.